is not a doctor. He's not an expert. He's not even a good person. The views, opinions, advice, and humor of Jim Norton does not reflect those of any doctor, of SiriusXM, of Opie Radio, or anyone else. They are solely those of Jim Norton, Lyle Chipperson, Edgar Mellencamp, Paul Hargis, and whoever else lives in that chinless head of his. If any of this advice goes wrong, you are the asshole who called a comedian instead of a doctor.
An icon in comedy, a fighter for freedoms, an accomplished entertainer, and a pervert. You've got problems, he's got problems. You've got questions, he's got answers, some of which are good. Call now 866-WOW-1-WOW. That's 866-969-1969. This is the Jim Norton Show.
Hello. Hi. I have to do something here. I can hear an echo that's really distracting. So that's better. So I hope you guys can hear me. Some sort of technical glitch. I guess to start, I was talking on the morning show this week about having an urge to eat like a pot brownie that I have never had a pot brownie in my life. I quit doing all that shit young. And the urge hit me really suddenly. And it was an overwhelming urge while I was doing Race Wars. I very rarely get them that strong. And I forgot to mention, I think I know what triggered it. And I forgot to mention this when I was describing the urge I had. I was doing, I had to go for a colonoscopy. Sorry, I got distracted. I just looked out the window and saw a man looking out his window. I went for a colonoscopy. Because again, I lost a lot of weight recently, and everybody thinks I'm dying of fucking cancer. So I went for this colonoscopy, and they said I was fine. Asshole got the thumbs up. They gave me propofol, which again, you got to be knocked out for it. So when I woke up, that was when I wanted to go in and finish the Randy Blythe interview. I was a little loopy from the propofol, but I left, and I liked feeling a little loopy. And I didn't even catch myself doing this. But when I had to go back in for the endoscopy, which I certainly didn't ask for, they wanted me to do it just to see, well, maybe we could see some internal bleeding here or something. I knew they were going to give me propofol again. And I was looking forward to that feeling after it was over. I was looking forward to waking up from the propofol and walking down the street feeling like not quite myself. And it didn't even strike me as to how dangerous that was. So I did it, and I had fun with it again. It was totally legit. There was nothing I could have done differently. Maybe I could have sat in the bed and not gotten up as fast and went into the radio show, but legitimately I did have to be on the air. But it was looking forward to it. And I think that started that process. And then when I saw those pop brownies, it just fucking hit me like a sledgehammer. But now they want me to go back for another endoscopy in 8 weeks, which is because I have a reflux. They said they saw some redness in my esophagus. And of course, doctors use scary language. He's like, well, that's where esophageal cancer comes from. So I'm debating going back in 8 weeks, but now I'm a little freaked out by this. So anyway, I make no claims to perfection. It snuck up on me. And, I talk about this shit all the time. So you never say, wow, it's so funny. As I'm talking about this, I'm gazing out the window like a douche. I did not even see Renee from New Mexico. Hello, Renee. I did not see you're on the board here. You have a colonoscopy question.
Hey, Jim. How's it going?
Hey, buddy.
Next Thursday, I have one. And did they put you to completely asleep? And after you answer this, I have a Black Sabbath question for you.
Yes, they do. I was just talking about that. With the propofol knocks you totally out. You lay on your side. You open your robe, and your little pink tender hiney is exposed. You feel the medicine entering you, and then you wake up in the recovery room. What is your Sabbath question?
Okay, I got my Sabbath tickets for Vegas, and I got the VIP sound check package. It's kind of expensive for 2 tickets with $900, but I get to go to the sound check and to the reception. Have you ever done anything like that? You think that's a good deal, or? I
don't know anything about that, to be honest with you. I know that when I've been, I've gone backstage a number of times, and I've seen Ozzy doing meet and greets. And for the meet and greet, he'll come out and take pictures with everybody. I don't know if you have a meet and greet or not, but yeah, I mean, look, it's Sabbath's last tour, if you want to go backstage. It gets you to the sound check, which is kind of cool. And is there a meet and greet with it?
No, that was $2,500. So, and then for a picture with the whole band was $1,500. To meet Ozzy and meet and greet, that was $25. So I just thought the one for $450 with the VIP package, sound check package, and you get a reception, you get some ticket or something.
But you get a picture with the whole band if you if you buy the full package.
Hey Jim, you're sounding bad.
Well, buddy, I can't.
Sorry, bro. Bye.
All right, take care. You lost in the last part, but I think we had a little bit of a connectivity issue. Hi, Kevin in Houston. What's up? Houston.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, man.
Hey, Jimmy. I just signed back up for XM after a 1.5-year hiatus, and I feel like a complete asshole today.
Why?
I don't know why. I don't know. I felt like I'm was mean to Opie and you now.
You
really
felt
weird.
Wait, you felt like you were mean to us by signing up or by leaving?
Well, I left whenever XM fired Cumia. So
yeah, no, I don't take that as you being mean to me and Opie at all, dude. I mean, I'm glad you signed back up, but I certainly understood people who canceled after that in anger. So yeah, no, I don't. Please don't feel mean. I mean, I'm happy you're listening, but listen to Anthony too. He's on AnthonyCumia.com, and you can also, be a supporter, get a subscription.
Oh, I am. I've been a subscriber from day one. I'm just glad to be back on XM as well. But I wanted to tell you had a hell of a show in Houston. I saw you at the House of Blues. So.
Well, thanks for coming, man. I appreciate it. And thanks for supporting our show, and thanks for supporting Anthony's show. My dream is still for all of us to work together again. And look, it sounds, O and A have snipped at each other recently, and people have given Opie a hard time recently. But, people give Anthony shit all the time, too. And weirder things have happened. Like, bands have gone through fucking breakups that were a lot fucking messier than Opie and Anthony. Opie and Anthony just had fucking, after a while you grate on each other. It's a part of life. But neither one of them was fucking the other one's girlfriend. It wasn't like there was, one of them stole from the other one, or, there's so many things that bands have gone through that these guys did not. This guys just got on each other's nerves after a while. So look, I think that things are certainly, in time salvageable, and that's what I always hope for. So in the meantime, I ask you to support us, of course, but I want you to support Ant too.
Oh, I am. I'm glad to hear you back, man. Glad to hear you up today.
All right, pal. Take care.
All right.
All right. John in Toronto, trouble sleeping. Hello, fella.
Hi, Jim. How are you?
Oh, good. How are you?
Excellent. Pleasure to talk to you.
Of course it is. I'm a pleasurable man. Thank you.
That's for sure. So for the last couple years or so, I've had trouble sleeping for no apparent reason. I go to bed, I wake up a few times in the middle of the night, and I don't know what to do. You have anything I should try?
Have you put weight on recently?
Believe it or not, I dropped 100 pounds about 4 years ago, and I've put half of it back on, yes, in the last couple years.
I'm only asking because I'm wondering if it's sleep apnea. Maybe you always had that and haven't noticed, or maybe it's gotten worse recently. That's why I'm saying maybe you have apnea now. Or is your prostate swollen and you're getting up to piss?
No, none of that. I got married about a year ago, too. I think that might have contributed to it a little bit.
Yeah, maybe any movement in the bed freaks you out. Or you used to being alone, right?
Yeah, for 33 years before that.
Yeah, that could be it, dude. It could be any movement in the bed freaks you out. Because occasionally, if I have I like to say, a young lady friend stay over, I'm used to being alone. Old habits die really hard. For me, it's very difficult, and I'm older than you, but I can certainly imagine how hard it is to get married and have that person fucking breathing next to you. That must be so awful. You want to wake up and just crank one out, but you have her fucking snoring with love on her face, and you're like, ugh.
It's like you're in my mind.
Yeah, maybe it's that, dude. But get tested for apnea. If you're waking up, if you're feeling exhausted the next day, it may be sleep apnea, but maybe it's just getting used to someone being there.
For sure. Thanks, Jim. By the way, I saw you in Toronto at Oddball. Your set killed. I was pretty close, but it was awesome. I was there just for you.
Thank you so much, man. I love doing those shows. I wish I had done more of them. I appreciate it.
Hope you come back soon.
I will, buddy. Be good.
Take care.
Jeff in Massachusetts. What's up, sock cucka?
Yeah, exactly. You know my issue in life. I got to tell you my real name. No, it's actually Emil.
Hi.
And when my brother and I talk, every time he says email, he always says email. What? What's that? What's that?
What's that? Yeah, fair enough.
It's horrible. But I was just
you have an addiction to Chippa.
I was just listening to Anthony's show from yesterday, and they were talking about bullying. And I'm here in my shop by myself, and I said, fucking bullion cubes are awesome.
That's fucking hilarious. What's the problem? You're probably cracking everyone up.
Exactly. And the worst part is you go through this 90% of your time in your life by yourself.
A lot more than that. And I just sniffled. And again, I need my cough button fixed. Done. You know what it is, dude? It is addicting. There's something so fun about finding the worst line possible. Like, that's the enjoyment of being, it's like, I get to use my mind the way I like to use it, which is comedically. But like, instead of looking for a clever line, I get to find the biggest piece of dog shit line and see how awful I can make it. And I have to do it with the same speed that I would find a good line. So it's obviously easier to do a chip line, but that's to me the addiction of it. It's just fun to find those terrible lines and know that I'm saying cringe-inducing things.
But the problem is when you're having a serious conversation with somebody and you cut in
or
with
an XM conversation.
They have no idea. Well done. They have no idea why I said chip in the middle of a conversation when they're talking about a ship in the ocean.
It's hard for me not to do too. Once in a while, I know. So do I, dude. So do I. Trust me. There's times where I don't. But I know. All I can tell you, dude, is just keep chipping away and make sure you throw in a little Edgar and Uncle Paul, too. That really balances the whole package out nicely, all right?
Oh, yeah, that Uncle Paul goes over real well in good company.
Shut up. I'll see you later, buddy.
Okay, take care. Thank you.
Mike in Boston, what's up? Wants to congratulate old Jimmy Norton.
Hi, Jimmy.
Hello.
I don't know if you saw on Twitter, but Ricky Gervais announced that you did not end up on the cutting room floor for special correspondence.
Yes, I know. I read that, and I remarked to him that was an odd way to refer to what I called myself the sleeper star of the movie. Now what we need to do is I want to get into fucking the goddamn David Brent movie so badly, but I don't need a big part. I literally, and this has nothing to do with me wanting to further my career. I just love David Brent in The Office, which I think I've made abundantly clear for the last decade and a half.
I'm an actor myself, and I would love to make it into that movie. But
dude, I literally just want one moment on camera with David Brent. It doesn't even have to be as much as I had in Special Correspondence. It could be me as a clerk in a store and just handing him $1 and he going, thank you, and then walking. Like, I don't give a fuck. It's just the idea of doing something where I have footage with David Brent.
I see it happening. Congratulations, Jimmy.
All right. Thanks very much. You're a sweet boy.
Take it easy.
Bye-bye. Let's see here. Sam in Tennessee, Penn, dating a younger woman.
Hey, Jimmy.
Hey, buddy.
So, yeah, I was kind of catfished.
Okay. Catfished how?
I met her on Craigslist. She said she was 18. She really had just turned 17.
Ooh. That happened to me once, too. How old are you?
Huh?
How old are you?
32.
Okay, you're way too old for her. I know. What's the legal age there?
I Googled it, and from what I can find via the internet, 17 is
But
legal.
you better make sure of this, dude. Make sure it's 17 and all ages are okay. Make sure it's not 17, and if you're over 18, you have to be within 2 years of her. Just make sure there's no loopholes there that you can get caught up in. You know, I'm not making a moral judgment on you when I'm saying you're way too old for her. I'm just saying if you're 32 and she's 17, just make sure it's 100% legal. But that happened to me once with a girl I was dating, but I was 22. And she told me she was 18, and I think I caught her lying, and she's like, no, I turned 17. And I was like, fuck, but it was legal, and I was 5 years older. And then I found out she was 16 when I was like almost a year into the relationship. So it was like one of those things where I got really, and her father told me by accident. He didn't know I didn't know. So that was really fucked up. And eventually she and I broke up. Well, what do you want to do about it? I mean, that's a big age difference when it comes to 17.
Yeah, we're like 6 months in right now. Like, I just found out. Like, yeah.
Well, you get along, you know, hey, look, man, as long as it's legal and you get along with her, then okay. I mean, it's not like you just met her and you don't know. If you find 6 months and you guys are getting along well, again, as long as it's fucking legal, what's the problem?
Well, I'm worried that, you know, it might not be legal. How her
Well, you should make 100% sure. Call a lawyer, dude. Like, for real. You don't want to wind up in jail for fucking statutory rape. They're not going to want to hear it. You got catfished. Okay, that happens. And I guess that maybe there's some reasonable excuse there. But once you know, and don't fuck around with that. That's not worth it. It's not worth going to jail for.
Mm-hmm.
So I would just suggest finding out a lawyer. I don't know what the law is there.
Okay, thanks.
Be good, you silly goose. Josh and KY. What's up, Josh? Kentucky.
Big boy, bro.
Hey, man.
Jimmy, I called back in August. I was telling him I was having an extramarital affair with a woman, and she just stopped ignoring. She just started ignoring me out of nowhere.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
And so, at about 3 to 4 weeks after she stopped ignoring me and didn't answer any kind of emails, and kept blocking me on all kinds of Facebooks, I got a text from her that just says, "I'm currently in marital. I'm going under marital counseling. Sorry for any misunderstanding. Please do not contact me."
Okay.
Like, what's your take on that? It really bugs me because it was almost like you're sending me a memo besides just like a letter or trying to call me. And always just constantly ignoring me when I would Facebook.
Yeah, but let me ask you a question. Josh, hold on. Josh, hold on. She has abundantly made clear that she does not want to continue this. Now, I understand how hard it is from your point of view, because I've been on both sides of this. She probably got caught. Does she have kids?
So.
Okay. So maybe she just had a moment of clarity. She wants to save the marriage. Whatever the reason, excuse me. Jesus Christ, I'm not made for radio. Coughing idiot I am. Maybe she wants to save her marriage for the children. Maybe her husband caught her. Whatever the reason, she told you she wanted out. And you kind of kept pestering her a little bit. And then maybe she sent you that because her therapist told you to. Maybe her therapist said, is he still contacting you? And she went, yes, and he won't leave me alone. And maybe the therapist said, you have to definitively say, I don't want you to contact. Hold on. Maybe her husband said, fucking send that. Whatever the reason, you don't need any more clarity than that. You have your answer. You don't have to like it.
All right. But I just want, before I left out the text, she said it's strongly advisable that I do not contact you anymore.
Okay. Just,
all right.
All you need to know is you don't know if she worded that or if she's trying to send you a warning that, are you married too?
Yeah.
And then maybe she wants to send you a warning that her husband did some research and knows your name and is going to tell your wife if you contact her again. Maybe she's trying to say that in the strongest words possible, like for both our sakes, just walk away from this one. The bottom line is something blew up that you are not aware of, so walk away.
Yeah, all right, I understand that. Thank you. But what just gets me is why should we wait 3 or 4 weeks?
Who knows? I don't know. But why does it...
Send me an email and say, hey, here's what's going on, or call me really quick.
But and then her argument might be, when I didn't call this guy back, why didn't he read the signals and understand that I got caught? When I didn't call this guy back, or because I wanted to save my marriage all of a sudden, why didn't he stop texting? Or her husband may have been seeing your fucking texts coming in and saying, why isn't this guy stopping texting you?
Like, we weren't texting through the phone. We were doing texting through Facebook.
Okay, but you don't think her husband could see her Facebook account?
I guess. I don't know. I couldn't answer that because she had secret accounts, by the way.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. They can find out. I almost got... Here's an example. I was in a relationship years ago, and I was talking dirty to this girl through text message, and I've told this story on the radio. And I had a secret email with some dirty stuff in it. Nothing crazy, but just some, inappropriate photos and emails. So my girlfriend, I went to save the text message so I could jerk off to, but I printed it out by mistake. My fucking girlfriend finds it the next day. She wakes me up. She's like, get up, Jim. She caught me. I was busted. In that text message that she had hours to read before she woke me up, like that series of text messages, she saw my secret email account name. Now, thank fucking God I had a different password, or she would have woke me up with a knife in my chest. But if I had used the same password for that secret email because I thought she'd never find it, she would have stabbed me to death. So the bottom line is, maybe this girl you had the affair with in her secret one somehow left her Facebook open, or she's dumb and uses the same fucking password. So you don't know what went on, and all you're doing is trying to find a reason where this is easier for you to walk away from. Right. You don't need the explanation, because the bottom line is, it's like seeing a car accident and the big question is, did it swerve left or did it swerve right? Okay, that's interesting to know. But what you first have to do is realize there's a car accident. Let me get out of here before the fucking car blows up, instead of standing there in the middle of the wreckage wondering which way the fucking car swerved. You understand what I'm saying? You got the message you needed. And I'm not being a dick to you. I'm saying that I know the fucking how hard it is, but you got to walk away. And I know you know that, but this way you're going to save yourself and her a fucking whole lot of problems.
All right, cool. Thank you. Can I just say one other quick thing?
Yeah, sure, buddy.
A couple of years ago, I had an operation. I was under heavy anesthesia. When I came out of the anesthesia, every time they said, hey, do you want an ice chip? I kept going, what's that?
Fuck yeah. I got zooted one time on Propofol or something. Take care, buddy.
Later. Bye-bye.
Be good. Hello, Dr. Jeff in Denver. What's up?
What's up, Jimmy? Huge fan.
Thank you, sir.
So, question for you. I'm a psychologist in Denver. I obviously have my own ideas on this, but why do you think it's easier for people to call your show and talk about the crazy shit that's going on in their lives and get help from you and feel more comfortable doing that than contacting a mental health provider to help in some times of need?
My guess would be, one part of it is we're not face-to-face. It's harder to tell somebody something face-to-face. They know they don't have to sit with me for 51 more minutes after an embarrassing admission. They can just hang up.
Good point.
I also think that I'm totally upfront, or I try to be upfront with who I am. And they understand that they're not talking to a judgmental oracle. In the sense that I'm a fucking flawed motherfucker, and I know I'm fucked up, and I know I'm damaged, and I know I'm a disaster, and I talk about it. So it's the same reason that I attract women who will, in my own personal life, who will do a lot of dirtier shit with me than they would have with previous boyfriends. Yeah. I think part of it is they know they're not going to be judged. First of all, I'm not a professional, so it's easier to talk to me. Dude, don't forget, people listen to me for hours every day. So they think that, it's like they feel comfortable, like they kind of have a relationship. They know me. They know my ins and outs. They know my inflections and my fucking problems and my faults.
Yeah, I feel like you're a friend, for sure.
Yeah, so they're not going to be judged by me. And again, anyone that admits the stuff I admit, like, what moral ground do I have to stand on? Like, if you're cheating, I think you got to be careful and it's not advisable. But I'm not going to scold you like fucking Dr. Laura would. Because that's people's impression of mental health professionals is Dr. Laura. Why are you doing that? That type of shit.
Yeah, I think we've fucked ourselves over as a field by being this, like, blank slate, and we're not really people. And it prevents people from coming in when they need it most. So I love what you're doing. And
also, just being sober for all these years, the way people trained me, and I hate to say, is like, instead of just telling me what to do, they kind of shared shit about themselves, and I could relate to it or I couldn't. That was up to me. But that makes it really hard to argue with. And I find do you know what I mean? Like, if this guy, like the last guy who called, like, it's easy for me to sit there and tell him, don't do this, don't do that. But I also feel obligated to tell him a story about my life if I have it, where it's like, dude, I'm not judging you. I get it. This is how I fucked up, and this is what could be happening here. So I think that it all could be part of it. But a big part of it is probably they just don't have to look at my dumb face.
Absolutely. Well, and being on an equal playing field, like you're saying, you're willing to talk about your own shit so people feel comfortable throwing it out there. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's just got to be a little bit easier, I think. And also, when you go, there's a much heavier implication to I went to a therapist for mental health and I called this dumb comedian who I enjoy. So with me, I think they take it less seriously with me so they can talk more freely, okay?
Absolutely. Yep.
Thank you, Dr. Jeff.
Take care.
Be good, buddy. Let's see here. Doesn't know how to handle an alcoholic girlfriend. Hi, Tim. Hey, buddy.
So, I just started dating this girl it's less than a month, and I'm not really an insecure guy, but I find myself being very insecure when she's drinking, and it seems like she lets a lot of guys, like, touch her inappropriately around me when she's drunk, but if she's not drunk, she doesn't,
Yeah. She's a flirty drunk, and it's emasculating for you.
Yeah.
So what does she say when you talk to her about it?
She admits that she has a drinking problem, but I don't think she has any intentions of ending the drinking problem.
How long you been with her?
Less than a month, maybe 2 weeks.
You're already seeing the writing on the wall. You're seeing the writing on the wall, which is she's probably an alcoholic, and she flirts, and she's not willing to give up the alcohol, and she knows she flirts. So you basically have to make a decision. I'm going to have to put up with this shit for a long, long time, and it's probably going to get worse before it gets better, if it ever gets better. So you just got to make a decision. Do you want to get out now? If it bothers you so much, if it doesn't bother you, then, if you can live with it, then you live with it. But if it's driving you fucking nuts, you're pretty new in the relationship, you might want to get out before it's really going to hurt.
And you don't think she's capable of changing?
Well, yeah, but you said she doesn't want to stop drinking.
Well, she said she knows it's a problem. She'd like to, but she doesn't take any steps to do it.
Oh, okay. Well, look, again, you might want to give her an amount of time to stop drinking. But once she's drunk, it's kind of hard, because she might mean it. Anthony used to always talk about his ex-wife drinking, and he would say before we'd go out, I would tell her, "Now remember, there's no problems," and she'd be like, "Yeah, I know, we're getting along." And then she'd get fucked up and, "You motherfucker." Like, you're talking to sober people. That's not the people you need to impress. It's the people who are drunk and they're impossible to talk to. So even though sober, she fucking knows what you're saying and she agrees with you. Once they pass that point of no return, as the night wears on, forget it. You're fucked.
Yeah, that's how it is.
So, yeah, just see if she's willing to try anything to stop. And if not, then you got a decision to make.
Yeah, she went to the AA meetings once, and she thought it was a big joke that she didn't have a problem.
Okay, well, people have different reactions to different programs. Maybe she could try other things. I don't think AA or NA or GA or OA make claims that they're the only show in town. So tell her to try other stuff.
All right, thank you.
Okay, be good. Let's see here. Kyle in Texas. What's up, man? You want to turn your life around?
Yeah, basically, I've just been studying to be a music producer, and it's the thing that I want to make money doing. And I basically just, how did you turn your life around whenever you wanted to be a comedian?
Well, it's honestly it's all I ever wanted to do, and I was forced into rehab when I was 17. My melodramatic suburban risk cutting, but that kind of planted the seed. So by the time I was 18 and I got sober, I still had no direction because I dropped out of high school because of rehab. So I kind of was like, do I want to go to community college? I got a job, but I was very young, and comedy was always kind of in the back of my mind. And when I got a B and 3 Fs in community college, I just started working, and I said, fuck it, I'm going to try stand-up comedy. And very early on, I made a decision that once I did it, I was not going to leave myself a safety net. Like, I purposely said, again, I was much more dramatic then than I am now. But to me, it was, I'm going to make it or I'm just going to kill myself. That's my option. Which again, I wouldn't have killed myself. But it was, you're 21, like, fuck this. I was 3 years sober. So for me, I was young and I lived with my parents, so it was a little easier for me. I don't know how old you are or what your living situation is.
I'm 19, living with my mom.
Oh, okay. So you're in the pretty much same place I was. So you're coming off, you want to turn your life around and be a music producer. Well, then why don't you just produce that and get involved with it? Maybe find a music production company and do something in that company. Like, work your way up. Like, a lot of people want to. And again, I don't know enough about music producing to give you proper advice, but a lot of people, like, how many fucking agents started out in the mailroom, or how many people become CEOs and they started out just as a low level, like Mel Karmazin was number 2 at fucking Viacom under Sumner Redstone. He started at not Infinity, whatever it was before that, as a sales guy, and then he became the regional manager and then the president, and so you could start low and then work your way up. So why don't you find a place that does music producing and begin working in that company in some capacity and see what you can pick up.
All right. What was like the defining moment where you're like, this is definitely what I'm going to do, like, for the rest of, like, it's guaranteed in my mind? Or were you always just had that mentality?
I think for a while, what kept me sane was that I thought it was just a pipe dream. Like, it was a pipe dream to me. Like, and when I would go on stage and do it, it was almost surreal, and I felt like a pretender and a fraud. And every time I did it, as I began known by, like, some of the local comedians became my friends, and, like, Florentine I met 6 months in 1990, I still couldn't believe it was real. So I kept waiting for the other shoe to drop and for me to wake up and realize this is never going to be your life. You're not going to make it. So I don't know the exact moment. It might have been when I bombed at Rascal South. Like Bob Levy, who I've talked about many times. Bob Levy's still a guy I love very much. Was one of my local heroes. He was so funny and so fast and so relentless on the audience. And I really looked up to Bob, and he was always nice to me. So he emceed a show in the big room at Rascals, and he brings me on one night. And, he brings me on as Jim Norton, and I went up and I bombed. I bombed so badly. And I walked off stage. I was like, I'm sorry I wasted your time. Like 7 minutes in, I was humiliated. And I drove home and I was crying. I never forget crying on the Parkway in my car. And I'm like, I failed. Like, this was the moment I waited for. This was the moment of my failure that I knew was coming. And I called a guy named Ward Magnuson. Mark Magnuson ran Rascals West Orange. Ward Magnuson ran, and John Magnuson ran Rascals South. And I never forget, I said to him, like, I got to quit. I can't do it. And he goes, well, I think you're funny and you don't need to think that dramatically. He goes, but I guess you got to do a little soul searching and see what you want to do. And for some reason, that little stupid term resonated with me. And I said to myself, I'm going back on stage tomorrow night because it's never going to fucking hurt this bad again. So it took a tremendously bad bomb to make me go, fuck this shit. I'm actually going to do this. So sorry to babble, but that might have been my moment of clarity. It's the only thing I can think of.
So basically a huge failure was that huge wake-up call for you.
Yeah. I mean, or realizing that I couldn't fail any harder than that, or it wouldn't hurt any more than that. So, yeah, that might have been my wake-up call.
And, man, you're a fucking inspiration. You're awesome.
Well, thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. And if I can do it, anybody can, because I'm a frightened little rabbit, man. I'm a fucking scared little fucking man who forced himself to do something. And if I can make myself do it, anybody can,
Exactly. And that's probably the biggest thing is, like, forcing yourself to do it and going, I can fucking do this. I can make my goals a reality.
Thank you very much, buddy. Take care. And good luck.
Thanks.
Be good. Jay in New Jersey. What's up, Jay? Another chip call, which is a miracle.
Hey, what's up, Jimmy?
Hey, buddy.
I was just curious. I feel like, I'm not calling like Dash or anything. I feel like as Sam's not on the show anymore, I feel like you don't do Chip and Uncle Paul as much. I don't know if I'm just thinking that or
I don't know. It's funny. Like with the characters, I kind of go through phases. It's funny. I had asked at one point when people listen to the radio show and they don't like it anymore. And I'm not referring to you. I said, I don't understand why people would listen if they don't like the show anymore. So some guy emailed me and he didn't answer my question that much, but he was more telling me why he didn't like me anymore. And one of the reasons he gave was, he goes, and whenever you do these characters and Chip, it fucking stinks and I hate it and it's a cop out. And I said to him, I wrote back in my response, there's no winning as a performer in this area because if I do too much Chip, people will hate me for it. And then when I don't do Chip, people say, hey, why don't you do Chip and Uncle Paul? I never say I'm going to do it or not do it. It just kind of flies out. Like I was doing Chip today.
That's the other thing. You did it a lot today, which is weird. When I was calling you, I was thinking that. Like, you did it a bunch when I was listening to that.
Yeah, I don't know why. I go through phases. I have not made a conscious effort not to do it. Maybe I did it more when Sam or Anthony were there because the Stangles are newer guys, and I would always interact with somebody other than Ope. Like, because Opie will interact with Chip or Uncle Paul. But that was always kind of the thing, is that I would interact with Anthony or I would interact with Sam. And with those guys not being there, the Stangles are fine with it and they play with it. But I don't have that natural bounce back with people who kind of enjoy it. So a lot of times what will happen is the comedians that come in, like Bobby I'll do it with, or Colin, but Voss never really interacted with stupid Chip. He'd be like, oh, is that your fucking clever character? Voss just fucking Rich just breaks the fourth wall. And Pete Davidson or any of these other guys, or Vic Henley, they are just guys that I don't really do that stuff with. So Travis, I do it with. Travis, I'm very comfortable doing it with. But Travis is behind the glass. But half the day I'm looking at Travis, because I see Opie in front of me, and I'm looking at Travis past Justin on my right. So I don't know if that answers your question, dude. I kind of come and go with it.
It does. I guess it's like, and you just do it when you feel like doing it, and like you said, you maybe. They went back and forth with you a little more, like Sam and Anthony and all that, but you just you do it when you feel like doing it.
Because I'll still fire a line out, but those guys would kind of grab it and run with it. And it isn't, again, Opie always played that he hated Chip, but he really doesn't hate Chip. It's just the angle he took, which was kind of the pushback against Chip, and that made Chip almost more fun to do. Like knowing that somebody in the room was like, ugh, cringing is part of it.
He brings it to a screeching halt.
It's
I love it.
Amazing and uncanny a joy I have to do it. So I appreciate it, buddy. Thanks so much.
All right, man. Have a good one.
Goodbye. Jeff in Arizona, your wife cheated on you. What's up?
Yeah, I'm sorry. You there?
Yes, buddy. I'm right here.
Oh, sorry. So quiet.
Oh, yeah.
So early on in our relationship, my wife, fiance, cheated on me. With somebody she'd gone to high school with, and I was working really weird hours, never home, so I kind of blame myself for it. But still to this day, almost 10 years later, I still have these issues of I think it constantly happens,
Sure.
She has more guy friends than girlfriends, so it's definitely not any easier on me.
Well, you don't trust her?
What's that?
You don't trust her?
I trust her, but she sometimes gives me trust issues.
Well, hold on. Now, does she? How long was she having an affair, or was it a one-night thing only?
It happened. It happened one time, and she was open about it and everything. So, as far as I know, it's never happened again.
Well, then you might want to let it go. If a decade later she's still not doing it again, and your question is, you had a chance to cheat on her. What do you do?
Yeah. So the other night she was out of town. I had a girl approach me, which doesn't really happen very often, but it was the right situation. And I had the opportunity, but I passed it up because I know what it felt like to be in that situation.
Yeah, and it's not going to help you. Like, again, it's not going to do anything. If a decade ago she cheated, and then you wait 10 years because you're still mad about it, maybe you need to wonder why you're still mad about it. I'm not saying I wouldn't be, but,
Yeah, but
no, I clear my throat a lot because I drink coffee. And I want my cough button back. I feel so guilty. I apologize to anybody with those weird things on the sides of their heads that pick up sound. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you, dude, because, why can't you get over it 10 years later?
And that's my thing. I don't know if I need to seek professional help, or I've tried talking to her till I was blue in the face, and it's always the same thing of it was an accident and never happened again and all this.
Yeah,
but
she might be sick of you mentioning it.
Yeah, and I think about it a lot more than I should, and I don't say anything to her about it. I just let it sit there and stew in my own thoughts. But I don't know what I should do.
Well, did you ever just think to yourself to wonder why you're harping on it in your own mind? Do you like feeling bad? Is that what it is, or do you still feel like you should have gotten revenge?
I think it might be the revenge side of it, honestly, because it's almost like, hey, you went out and did this, and we didn't have any kids at the time, and we have 2 kids now, and that was another issue I had. But it was almost kind of like, hey, you got to go out and have fun. Now it's my turn. But I decided to be the bigger person.
Yeah, you might want to. You should be the bigger person. Definitely be the bigger person, and don't get all crazy with it. You did it already. I mean, she did it already. It's done. It's not like it's a month ago, dude. If it's a decade later and she's not doing it, then you just got to somehow find a way to let it go.
Yeah. Awesome. Hey, I loved you when you came down to Tempe, man, and I can't wait till you come to the Talking Stick.
I enjoyed it very much. Oh, good, you coming. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. And where's the Talking Stick? That's a casino in
Scottsdale.
Right, Scottsdale. My first time there.
Arizona. January 23rd.
Yes, sir. Thank you, man.
There you go, buddy.
Be good. Let's see here. Brian in Alabama. Kid got a concussion. What's up?
Hey, what's going on, man? How you doing?
How are you? Good. How are you?
I'm all right. All right. I just got a quick question. Let me get your advice on something. I played college football here in Alabama, and, that's a big thing. I got a girl when I was in college. We had a kid together, things like that. But now we're no longer together, but we still communicate for the kid.
Okay.
But now the kid is 15, and he just got his first concussion playing high school football.
Right.
He still wants to play, and my, I guess, ex-wife, she loves athletes, and she wants them to play. But I've had many concussions, and that's one of the reasons why I couldn't go pro, because I had so many concussions. I had to stop playing in my senior year, and ever since my concussions, I've grown a stutter. I have the shakes. My memory is going bad, and I'm afraid that's going to happen to my kid, but I don't know how to sit down and voice my concerns.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like your wife is should probably be thinking more about his health than her love, or your ex-wife, more about his health than her love of athletes, especially if he's got a concussion already. I'm not from the school that no one should play football because you can get hurt, but the concussions are such a serious issue. And you look at guys like Tony Dorsett and all these other players and what it does to them, or the arthritis they have. And, you should sit down and really talk to your kid. I mean, you can't make him do what you want him to do, but maybe show him some stuff online of people talking about the concussions they have. NFL players should do that. Ex-NFL players who have serious health problems should go around, and not that any school would let them in to talk to their players, but they should somehow make themselves available at these seminars or whatever to talk about maybe they already do it, but to talk about the fucking health risks. Because again, in football, it's such a tempting thing because there's so much money involved if you're good. So I get why you'd want to play, and it's probably really fun to play and to have that fucking camaraderie with your team and you get all your frustrations out. You know, it's kind of hard to see something intangible like, when I'm 50, I'll deal with it. But then when you're 50, it's a motherfucker. So, you know, maybe just sit down and have a heart-to-heart with them.
All right, and it's more about her than him because, like I said, she loves athletes. Not trying to be mean to her, but before me, she was with an athlete. After me, she was with an athlete. She loves being an athlete's mom, sitting in the sidelines with all the other moms wearing Leatherman jackets in their 40s and 50s, which is a shame. And I feel like I have to break through her to get to him, and that's got to be my hardest part.
Well, all you can do is have a heart-to-heart with her and tell her the problems that people are having because of concussions. And she might go, the helmets are safer, you know, whatever. But, then talk to her. That's all you can do. I mean, he's an adult, right? So he can do what he wants.
Yeah, you're right. I appreciate that, my friend.
Is he in high school or college?
He's high school. He's a freshman in high school.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. I'm thinking you played in college, so he's not an adult.
I played in college.
Do you have to co-sign him playing or no?
She can. One parent has to.
Oh, okay. Well, then just talk to them. I mean, that's all I can suggest. If you can't make them, you can only talk to them.
Yeah, you got to play. All right, thanks.
Good luck, buddy. Now, is this the snowy in Michigan that we know? You want to know where you get your photo that you took with me?
Yeah, Jimmy, I saw you there on Saturday in Warren, man. It kicked ass, man.
Oh, thank you, man. Thanks for coming.
Very much. Hopefully, you got good enough reaction and maybe come back again sometime.
I loved it. I loved the crowd. It was really crowded, and the audience was amazing. And the pictures are on JimNorton.com. Have you checked there yet?
No, I was checking like just different areas, and I'm so horrible at freaking. I'm probably worse than Sam was at digging things out of the computer, man. I'm just like, what the? I don't know how soon you post the pictures or whatever.
Yeah, they went up today, actually, about 2 hours ago. So, because I had them loaded, I had to hit the right button, upload them. I forgot. So go to JimNorton.com under photos and scroll through, and you'll see the photo, your show heading. You just look through them.
All right, man. Thanks. Like I said, man, you kicked ass, man. It was so cool to finally meet you, man. Everything else, and then Club Soda and everything else was kind of cool.
Well, thank you for coming, man. I really appreciate you being there.
All right, man. Thanks a lot, man.
All right, buddy. Take care. Let's see here. That guy got off. Let's see. JP in Arizona, up and coming comedian. Hello, sir.
I mean, I'm 17. I'm in high school. I'm a junior, so I'm really just doing open mics right now, and I'm sort of asking if you have any advice whatsoever.
Yeah, you're young, which is awesome, dude. You're getting into it really young. Do you tape yourself?
Do what?
Do you tape yourself at all? You tape your sets?
Yeah, I usually have my dad there. He brings his camera and he videotapes them.
Oh, okay, cool. How often do you get on stage?
It's not regular. It's more just when I feel like it. I think I'm going to do one this Friday.
Okay, so here's my advice. Get on stage as often as you can. Get on stage constantly. Never give yourself excuses unless it's something that you legitimately have to do. And tape every set and always try some new material. Like, just realize this is AAA ball. So just you can't sit out and then come back in 2 weeks and get up and take a few swings with the bat. You got to get up all the time, man. It's very competitive. There's plenty of work for everyone, but you got to get up on time. You got to get up all the time. There's no reason to be sitting around. You're nice and young, dude. You could be 4 years into it when you hit 21, which is how old I was when I started. So just figure by the time you're 47, you could also achieve mediocrity. Just do it as much as you can.
Oh, thanks so much. Can I say one more thing?
You sure can.
I was just going to say, because I was thinking about a proverb my brother told me. He taught me how to play this board game.
Okay.
And he said the rule is learn the basics and then lose as many games as possible. And then lose 100 games. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't usually lose intentionally, but losing is what you typically learn more from. And having bad shows, you learn a lot just as much as good shows. So don't be freaked out if you have some bad shows, man. Just plow through it and keep doing it.
All right. Thanks so much, Jim.
That's cool you're taping it. Take care, man. Let's see here. Matt in Boston. Marriage has gotten abusive. What's up?
Hey, Jim.
Hey.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really on my end. It's on my wife's end. And, you know, it's obviously I don't know what to do. You know, she's getting a little out of hand with it as far as, like, you know, some scratches, and, you know, little hits here and there. But, I mean, apparently I'm pissing her off enough to want to do stuff like that. But I don't know.
Maybe you are, but there's still relationships can't get physical. Like, you know, one of my ex-girlfriends would do that where she'd like point and poke you. And I'm like, do not ever touch me during a confrontation. I'm like, we can yell at each other. We can be loud or obnoxious if we're going to be. But don't ever breach the space barrier between us. Like, I don't ever want that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't ever want to poke her and then she pokes you. It's like, that's how people get locked up in jail. And that's how people throw punches. And that's how, you know, guys get their faces scratched. You gotta put the fucking stop to that immediately. Cause the one time she does it where you just can't hold back, maybe she pokes you and hits you in the eye by mistake and you unload and break her jaw. Then what? You know what I mean? That's a fucking terrible road to go down, man. Never get physical. That's a fucking disaster. Hello? Oh no, she probably took the phone and choked him with it. She's fucking choking him like Maury. Fucking Jimmy Conaway. You know, well, give me my fucking money, you know. All right. I don't know where you are. Let's see here. Oh, Steve in New York wants to talk about Jim and his svelte little body. Hello.
Hey, Jimmy, what's up?
Hi.
Basically, I'm like 5'8", 300 pounds. I'm just like kind of laying in bed and watching Netflix all day. I'm just kind of have no energy. I don't know. I can't really lose it. I have like all these weird like food phobias that kind of keep me from like trying to start a new healthy diet. But I heard about your paleo one. I don't know.
It's not really paleo. It's called Whole30. It's WHOLE number 30. If you go to that and you stick with that for a month, it's not the easiest, but you will find yourself doing pretty well. So just try that for a month and see how it works for you.
Is that just meat, basically?
I'm sorry. No. You don't want to eat constant meat. That's bad for you. You know, cancer loves red meat, dude. So, you know, you can eat some meat. I can eat a baked potato sometimes with nothing on it. You can eat vegetables. You can eat these little certain snacks that are approved that you have to order, but then you have snacks. So, yeah, man, you can still eat, like, you know, and live a real life. A lot of nuts, you know, and it's not as fun as just eating what you want, but you'll definitely see results.
My problem is I kind of have like a Sam diet where I can only eat like 3 or 4 things, like a lot, and then I'm kind of afraid to try and do things. Like, could you do that kind of diet, only eating like 3 or 4 things?
No, those are the fucking worst, dude. Those are the worst, because then when you go off the deep end, you're like, oh yeah, I forgot, ice cream cake rules, and you eat 3 of them. So no, you got to be able to eat like a little something. But you know, for 30 days, just don't cheat on this diet, and you will see some kind of results. I did.
All right, I'll give it a shot. Thanks, Jim.
Good luck, buddy. Take care. Let's see here. Carlos in Florida. Hello, Carlos. You and your wife. Could you teach me to Mamba? You want to try cuckolding, huh?
No. Hey, Jimmy. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Well, we have we've actually playing before. Okay. And that was fun. We had a great time doing it. But we have tried cuckolding. One time I was away at work, and she had video messaged me, and you know, there was a guy there.
Oh,
and
wow.
it was it was fun at the beginning, but I just felt it just felt really weird to me, and I had to stop it. But you know, it's been a few years since that happened. And now we're talking about doing it again.
Well, let me ask you a question. Hold on. She did it without telling you she was going to do it?
No. We had set it up.
Oh, okay. And how long into it did you ask her to stop? And how did you ask her to stop?
Okay, they were kissing, and I was okay with it. And then he started going down on her, and it just had messed with me.
Yeah, but
so
did you want to watch her blowing him more than him going down on her?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, maybe it just bothered you, but she stopped and she was cool with it, right? She didn't freak out.
Yeah. Yeah, there was no freak out. You know, I just said, you know, I don't feel comfortable doing it. I don't feel comfortable you doing this right now. And, you know, we were cool, and we kept, you know, with the lifestyle, doing the swinging, and everything's fine. But now we talk about it a lot in bed, about her.
Yeah, of course, dude.
And with
of
other
course.
guys, and it's just exciting. But the way I want to try it this time is just her calling me up one day and just a guy just plowing her. And
well, why don't you? Is it possible you could be in the room the first time?
No, I'm a trucker, so I'm out a lot, and I don't know. It just feels a little bit dirtier, just her calling me without me being in the room and just hearing her. But I just don't want it to be like last time for me to freak out. Do you think it's just something that happened once, or? Yeah,
well, I'll say I don't know. Here's what you can do. The good thing is this: she stopped it when you wanted her to, and she didn't give you a lot of shit about it and be negative, and then you went back to your swinging lifestyle. So the worst that can happen is she tries it again, and you go, "Wow, you know what? This still doesn't feel right to me." As long as she's prepared to go, you know what? I'll stop again. I don't give a fuck. Then you could try it again, because you know that you're with someone who is just being fun and dirty with you and is more than willing to stop it. And maybe she could start it. I have to wrap up in a second. Maybe she could start it with a limit. Like, tell a guy, like, all we're going to do is jerk off together. Like, so maybe like she'll call you, right? And she'll be playing with her pussy, and maybe she'll just jerk his dick a little bit. Maybe there'll be no oral sex the first time. Or maybe it'll just be he jerks off on her, or he eats her pussy, or whatever you and your wife decide. And then you'll find the guy to accommodate that. So you know that it's not going to get out of hand. And then when it's happening, maybe you can go, all right, baby, suck his dick or do this if you want it to. But if not, the guy knows he's only going to be doing so much, so you can stop it pretty easy.
Okay, I think that's probably the step we're going to take.
Yeah,
Jimmy.
Put limits onto it beforehand, and you won't have to worry how far is this going to go. All right, thanks for the call, man. We got the phones are still full. I apologize, guys, but we are out of time. So call next week. And, to all the people who wanted to start improv, your wife left you, you want to talk about what Uncle Paul did on a show, and you want to stop using Viagra, and your wife quit you. Sorry, guys, there's a million people that want advice from me. Goodbye.
Thanks for listening to The Jim Norton Show. Hear all that advice whenever you want to on demand at SiriusXM.com/on-demand. On SiriusXM is real.